Well, the perfect record over in Germany is no more. That's right, as Bayern München dropped points for the first time last time around. Can they bounce back with another win? We'll get into it next. That's right, folks, back once again with another video today. It is match number 11, that's right, over in Deutschland, and we'll get to it in a second. If you're new, where you been? Smash your subscribe, one-stop shop for Blackburn Rovers, Bundesliga, whoa, football. We're going to all here under one Ruski. That's right, the perfect record was on like Donkey Kong, but Bayern München slipped up last time around. And what do I mean? Well, I'll show you in just 1 second. Big shout out to the members, big shout out to the patrons, big shout out to you guys, of course. But anyway, what we're going to do now is jump into the deep end and recap what went on last time around. So sit tight, hold on, and let's get into it. Now, folks, we are doing things a little bit differently these days, so just stand by and of course, we'll show you what I mean. Nothing too crazy, but anyway, this is the results from last time around down below here. And then, of course, look at the table over here. So we've got all that in one graphic. My predictions are not on the screen today, but they'll be back next time around, even though I did predict these ones. I just didn't include it. There's been a bit of a shake-up in where I get my stuff from. So I thought, we'll do it a little bit differently these days, and maybe it's something you like. But anyway, recap of the results. Werder Bremen with a 2-1 win over Wolfsburg. That win, of course, it's done wonders for Werder Bremen, up to 8th right now. Leverkusen with a 6-0 win over Heidenheim. They're trying back into Champions League contention. There's the surprise, though. Union Berlin 2, Bayern München 2. Nobody saw that one coming. Hoffenheim with a 3-1 win over Leipzig. Big win for them. As well for Hoffenheim. Where are they? They're up to 6. Goodness gracious me. Hamburg and Dortmund 1-1. Mönchengladbach, my boys with a 3-1 win over Köln. They're flying out to 12th. Freiburg 2-1 winners over St. Pauli. Stuttgart with a win over Augsburg. And Frankfurt with a win over Mainz, of course. So typically, this is where we would show you the Super Brew. That's still going on. There is a link in the description. Of course, get involved with your predictions. Of course, we'll give you an update on that next time around. Just trying to throw this thing together. I just arrived this past couple of days or so, so I'm a little bit behind the times in setting things up. So I just want to get the predictions out there. We'll tweak this format a little bit, and of course we'll bring you bang up to date with Super Brew next time. But anyway, this is the situation we come at ourselves this week. Of course, busy match week, and it all kicks off this coming Friday, which is the 21st of November. We'll kick it all off with a trip to Mainz. That's right. And again, predictions are a little bit different. Usually I'll throw all the numbers at you when they last played and all that kind of stuff, but now it's all about gut instinct. I'm going to tell you where I am. Of course, maybe a little bit on recent form coming into this, but ultimately just what I think. So Miwa Arena is the venue. Bo Henriksen is the coach there for Mainz, who are 17th with 5 points. Up against Hoffenheim, Christian Ilster is the coach. They are 6th right now, 19 points for them. They won 4 of their last 5. Mainz, though, are struggling. I think this could be the season that they go down. They're on the back of a defeat, which was against Frankfurt. Hoffenheim with a couple of big, serious wins over Wolfsburg, and then now Leipzig. And I fancy the chance. I don't think I put that into my perspective, though. I think I might have sat on the fence for this game. The bookies will back. They're actually back in Mainz as well, so they're leaning towards a home win. But it's a tight one. It is a draw for me. I think Hoffenheim are doing amazing and definitely could actually compete for those top 5 spots, which would mean trip to Europe, maybe even the Champions League, who knows. Then, of course, we go to Bayern München, the back in action, of course, dropping points last time around. Vinny Company's boys are top with 28 points, just 1 defeat for them in the last, not 1 defeat, 1 draw. Of course, the previous games have been pretty much faultless. Standing in the way is a Freiburg side, who are a decent team here, sitting in 10th for 13 points under Julian Schuster. They're unbeaten the last 4 themselves, just 1 defeat in the last 6. They, of course, coming into on the back of that 2-1 win over St. Pauli. Bayern dropping the 2 points against Union Berlin. Of course, still ringing in their ears, or still shouting and hollering about that 2-1 win over PSG in the Champions League, which also returns this week with Arsenal right around the corner. But no, the bookies will back Bayern. I've got to back Bayern. Of course, that draw. Yeah, of course they were going to drop points. They can still they're still on for an invincible campaign. Who knows? It might even be a massive season as well in the Champions League. Going with a 3-0 win for me for Bayern over Freiburg. Let's go to Dortmund against Stuttgart. Probably the game of the round right here, right now. Dortmund are in 3rd, up against Stuttgart in 4th. Nico Kovac's lads are 21 points for them. Back-to-back games, though, without a win. Standing in the way, Stuttgart under Sebastian Hoeneß, they are 4th, also on 20 points. They won 4 of the last 5. They're coming into on the back of that 3-2 win over Augsburg. Also back-to-back home wins for them. The last away match, though, for Stuttgart was a defeat. As for Dortmund, they're on the back of back-to-back. Actually, 4 matches on the road. Goodness gracious me. So this is their first match back at the Signal Iduna Park, which they did win last time around with a 1-0 win over Köln. Bookies will back Dortmund. This is a tight game. Dortmund are, of course, serious opposition. Of course, looking to get back in the top spot and, of course, open up a bit of a gap between themselves and the opposition. I'm going with the yellow and black here. It's a tight game. It's going to be one for the ages, I think. And, of course, Stuttgart are definitely serious contenders for a runners-up spot this time around. How about Wolfsburg? Wolfsburg are struggling right now. They're down to 14th with 8 points. Up against Leverkusen under Kasper Hülschmann. 5th in the table, 20 points for them. They've won 4 of the last 5. Wolfsburg, though, on the flip side on the form, they've lost 5 of the last 6. Pretty grim stuff. Coming at you at the Volkswagen Arena. They did lose last time around against Bremen. That was an away match for them. The previous couple of matches, though, for Wolfsburg were defeats. They lost against Hoffenheim in a 5-goal Bobby Dazzler. They also lost against Holstein Kiel in the DFB Pokal. Knocking themselves out as well. So 3 matches at home. The last 3 have been all defeats for Wolfsburg. Standing in the way are Leverkusen, who of course are cooking. Back-to-back clean sheets for them. Looking pretty good as well. Their only defeat really in recent times was that against Bayern. Of course, the bookies were back on Leverkusen. I've got to back them as well. 2-0 winners. I think they're back. They're not back to their very, very best, but they're definitely a difficult team to play against these days. Let's go to Augsburg as they take on Hamburg. That's right. Augsburg under Sandro Wagner. They sit 15th for 7 points for them. 4 defeats on the spin. I'm with the winners in at least the last 6. Standing in the way is a Hamburg under Merlin Putzin. Just 1 defeat in the last 4. They sit 13th right now with 9 points. Of course, coming to the WWK Arena, Augsburg on the back of a defeat to Stuttgart. The last 3 home matches resulted in 3 successive defeats without a goal as well. Standing in the way is Hamburg. They're on the back of a draw against Dortmund, a solid draw on the road. Sorry, at home. The last away match, that was a heavy 4-1 defeat to Köln, of course. The bookies will back Augsburg. It's a tight one. Augsburg, I think Augsburg are in a bit of trouble. I think they could go down. I think Hamburg are better equipped these days. So I'm going to go on the fence here with a 1-1 scoreline. Winter peace heading into. Meanwhile, Heidenheim up against Mönchengladbach coming at you over at the Voltath Arena. Frank Schmidt is in charge of Heidenheim, who are winners in at least the last 6. They sit 18th right now, bottom of the pile with just 5 points. Up against the Mönchengladbach side, who have found a bit of form under Eugen Polanski. They sit 12th right now with 9 points. They've won 4 on the bounce, of course, and have played Heidenheim 7 times since 2011. They're coming into this, though. Mönchengladbach on the back of a 3-1 win over Köln. A big win for them. As for Heidenheim, losing 6-0 on the road against Leverkusen. Coming into this. The last home match was a draw, a solid draw against Frankfurt. Mönchengladbach's last away match was that massive 4-0 win over St. Pauli to boost their chances. Mönchengladbach should be back for this one. They should be up for it. I've gone with a 2-0 win for Mönchengladbach, which again could see them project up to 11th in the table, though. Meanwhile, Köln, they're taking on Frankfurt also on the 22nd of November at the Rhein Energy Stadion. Lukas Kwasniok is in charge there for Köln. They're 9th for the table, 14 points for them, just 1 win in the last 5. Up against Frankfurt, Dino Topmoller, just 1 defeat in the last 5. That's right, they sit 7th with 17 points, of course. They last played over at Köln. It was a 2-0 win for Köln back in Feb 2024, Köln winning it. In fact, they won 3 in the bounce against Frankfurt at this venue, but they're on the back of that 3-1 loss to Mönchengladbach. As for Frankie, on the back of that 1-0 win over Mainz, of course, back-to-back clean sheets for Frankfurt heading into this. Yeah, pretty good form for them. In fact, just 1 goal conceded in the last 3 for Frankfurt in the league. Bookies back Frankfurt. I think I've got to back Frankfurt here. Nope, gone with a draw, 2-2. Goals galore in this one. In a tough old game at Köln. Let's go to Leipzig up against Werder Bremen. It's the Ole Werner derby. That's right, coming to the Red Bull Arena. Ole Werner and Leipzig sit 2nd right now, 22 points for them. Just 1 defeat in the last 6. That 1 defeat was last time around. Up against the Werder Bremen side under Horst Stefan. They are 8, 15 points for them. They're unbeaten in the last 5. They're coming into this on the back of a win. That win was against Wolfsburg. As for Leipzig, losing away to Hoffenheim. The last couple of home matches, though, for Leipzig resulted in wins. So back-to-back wins at least for Leipzig. Up against the Bremen side on the road, picking up draws galore. The last 2 on the road, resulting in a draw. The bookies, though, will back Leipzig. I've got to back Leipzig as well. I'm going to go with a 2-0 win for the hosts. And the Ole Werner derby. And then we wrap it all up with a trip to St. Pauli. That's right, as Alexander Blezin's boys are 16th right now with just 7 points, just 1 win the last 6 up against Union Berlin and the Stefan Baumgart, who are 11th right now, 12 points for them. Just 1 defeat in the last 5, of course, coming out of the Minotaur Stadion. St. Pauli on the back of a defeat to Freiburg. As for Union Berlin, back-to-back draws, back-to-back home draws, drawing with Freiburg, drawing with Bayern. The last away match was a 1-0 loss to Bremen, goodness gracious me. In fact, back-to-back games on the road in the league for Union Berlin without a goal and losing both of them. So St. Pauli should fancy the chances. They are favoured with the bookies with this one as well, so bear that in your mind when you're picking this game. I think I've probably gone with a draw, it looks like. 1-1 in the end, another draw to boot over in Germany. And if I'm right, guys, this is what the table will look like. Not much of a shake-up at the top end, though, but Bayern remain top, 31 points. Leipzig are in 2nd, Dortmund and then Bayer Leverkusen. Going down, it's Heidenheim, it's Mainz, and it's St. Pauli. Of course, my boys moving up to 12th. But that is it. That's all I've got for you. Make sure you subscribe, make sure you smash the like, and of course, don't forget, keep your eyes on the channel. Lots of stuff going on here. Heading into 2026, of course, Bundesliga is still paramount right here, right now. But until then, we'll see you soon whenever we return. And I'm out of here.